Brady, what do you think of that?
Sure, it's a cracking championship draw, isn't it? They're great games in Munster.
I thought there was some great games of holding games in that.
But as we always say, goals will win games.
He hits it! It's over the bar! Oh, holy Moses! I believe the Irish personnel working with the UN are listening to the match in Cyprus. Tardine and Arthur kind of fooling.
But I tell you what, you can forget about Sean Kavanagh as far as he's a man.
Right, guys, so I'm joined by Eamon here from St Declan's in Hertfordshire. I probably pronounced that one wrong. Apologies to all the English listeners. Not that I care at all in the slightest. But Eamon, you're very welcome. And the first thing I'm going to ask you about, something we were just chatting about a second ago, is for any of the local listeners here in Westmeath, you have family in Nadunta in the Downs, my old club.
Well, I mean, now they're going to kill me for saying this, but they only moved to the Downs there about 10 odd year ago. But yeah, they live about, I'd say, 50 yards from the pitch. You walk to the pitch from the house.
And the surname is, what you say, Maloney, is it?
Maloney, aye, Maloney.
Okay.
So the mother's from the north and the father's from Cork. So I think they figured Westmeath was just about right in the middle.
I was about to say, yeah, there's like a geographical centre point there somewhere. So I haven't got to ask you actually, whereabouts are you from yourself?
So I'd be from Derry, Kilray, and sort of middle South Derry.
Oh yeah, well, I was up there for the World Games there in July. Up that direction, yeah. Dungiven.
I was annoyed I didn't get back. Dungiven would be about 20 minutes from me. I used to have I would know a few ones from Dungiven direction now, and then I'd be Kilray. So that would be, if you're coming from Dungiven, you go over towards Glenollan over the mountain.
Oh yeah.
Or you go through Limavady over the mountain, and then I'm about 5-10 minutes from Glenollan.
Deadly.
Because Glenollan was my ma's parish.
Oh really? That's gas. Yeah, that was some crack up there, to be fair now.
I've heard. I know a few boys were back at it, and they said it was just incredible crack.
Yeah, you definitely missed out on that one. Hopefully they'll potentially be having it there again in the future, which will be ideal.
Be like the Fla, you have to have it 2 years in a row at the same place.
You have to have it in the same place. Yeah, really, it should be there for a third time, but we won't get into that now because there could be a point of contention here.
That contentious there now.
I know, yeah. What was your own GAA background like in Derry before you made the move?
So I would have grown up playing football. Like now, I was never much of a footballer, but I would have grown up playing football, and like my father, who would be very big into football, he would have played in Mahara teams, St Pat's Mahara.
Oh yeah,
McCrory, Hogan, all the way up. Like he would have played with them, and I would have played with my club in Kilray from when I was under 6. I think one of the memories I sort of have is my father taking my brother and I said we're only about a year and a half apart, and he'd have taken the two of us outside before dinner, and we wouldn't get in until we could solo a ball 3 times in a row without dropping it. Which, if I tell this story now, it sounds awful, but you know what? It's done me well because I went back to playing GAA there a couple of years ago, and I can still solo a ball, no problem. Can't do anything else. I can solo it, no hassle. But yeah, so I would have played football up until about under 12, and then you've obviously, I don't know what's like in the other counties. In Derry, you had the under 14 championship, and that's the first sort of experience of championship football and underage. And I sort of had a look at this. I was like, you know what, I'm not enjoying this. And once it gets to championship football, I know I'm not going to enjoy it even more, or I'm going to enjoy it even less, so to speak. I just knocked it in the head. So I didn't really play much when I was about 13, and then I was watching the hurling on the TV, and I'd always had a bit of a soft spot for it. Like I always thought, oh, jeez, that looks class. Like that looks unreal. I'd love to give that a go. And we had a couple of Isle hurleys knocking about, but they were the ones with their tiny bosses on them.
Oh yeah.
There were. I mean, I remember an actual hurler had a look at them once and was like, you may just chuck them in the fire. Like, so we had a couple of them knocking about the house, and they were ancient. Like, and I mind then I says to me, I was like, right, I want to give hurling a go. So for my birthday, I mind calling up to Paddy Keane in Swatter, the local hurley maker.
Yeah.
And getting a hurley. And then I went out to my local club then for hurling, would have been Swatter, just up the road.
I've heard it. I know them fairly well, yeah.
Swatter. So, and yeah, so I started with them for my second year under 14. and sort of just been hurling ever since. I went out the first time. Sorry, just a wee sip of the Eshka
Oh,
there. I went out the first time to them, and I mind we're at a junction waiting to turn right. Because people who know Swatter know, like, if you're coming in from one of the roads, you turn right at Frails, and it takes you out to the pitch. And I'll always mind sitting there and my ma looking at me. I was sitting bricking it, like I was so scared. Because I didn't know anybody. I didn't know if I was going to be any good at this sport. Like, and I mean, I found out I wasn't. But anyway, another. No, so we're sat there at Frails, like, and my ma looking at me and like, "You just turn around and go home if you want, pet. Like, there's no problem if you don't want to do this." I was like, "Ah, sure, I'll give it a go." Went to one training, found out I was cack-handed, so that was fun. But no, I sort of, yeah. So my background would always have been, football up until I was about 12, 13, and then just straight over to hurling.
That's gas, yeah.
I was hurling ever since.
And
And
what
yeah,
brought you to Hertfordshire then?
work. Just
Okay.
work. Yeah, so I went to Queen's and then up in Belfast, and I hurled there under Sean McGordy. He was an incredible man to hurl under. Like, more than anything, just the stories he has, absolutely
Mm.
hilarious. Yeah, I went to Queen's and hurled there and studied there, and then when I was living in Belfast, I went out to train with a club in Belfast, Davids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've strange enough, I was drawn to them because their crest is the same as the Doherty family crest, which I always
Really?
thought was quite strange. Yeah, it
That's a
was
good
an
one.
interesting because I saw it in the half steps once. I was like, "What's that?" And
That's
then
a
I
good
found
one.
out. Yeah, but
My cousins are Dohertys from here in the Midlands as well. So
so if you ever see the crest, like the wee deer,
yeah.
that's the Davids GA. That's the Davids GA crest from Belfast as
Oh,
well.
definitely gonna have a look at that. So
You do, but so yeah, I hurled with them for, well, put it like this. I started training with them in January 2020. You can sort of see where this is going, can't you?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Jesus, some of the ones around that club must have thought I was a madman. Like, because I went out training with them. I always mind they opened the new pitch in February of that year and they got the Tipperary 2019 team up.
Right.
They got the Tipperary 2019 and All Ireland winning team up. And I was in the club bar the night before, drinking pints with Owen Kelly and Liam Sheedy. Like,
That's class.
oh, it was class. I mind at one point I was staring at, they had the Liam McCarthy Cup. Now, it was obviously the
Yeah, the
publicist,
replica, yeah.
the replica.
Yeah.
I didn't know this at the time. Like, so I was 6 pints deep, staring at the Liam McCarthy Cup. Like,
That's
and
brilliant.
Sheedy looks up and was like, "Sure, have a look at it there if you want." I was walking around this bar for 20 minutes with what I thought was the Liam McCarthy Cup in my hand.
That's hilarious. I didn't
Oh,
know they like sent up, teams like that for pitch opens and that kind of thing.
so there was a friendly then played between Antrim and Tipperary the
Right.
following day at the pitch opening
Yeah.
at the actual pitch, and Antrim very nearly beat them. I think it was a draw in the end.
That's because you had the lads out the night before, that's why.
Well, I mean, I doubt Kelly wasn't playing that day. Oh, you know what? I think I'm nearly sure I've seen him warming up the goalkeeper. He still has it. But anyway, yeah. So I was training with Davids once I graduated, and I wasn't playing with Queens anymore.
Hmm.
I was out training with Davids because it was just too far for me to travel back down to
Yeah.
Swat. It's about an hour and a bit, hour and a half.
That's too much, yeah.
Oh, it was mad. Like, so I went out to Davids, and then yeah, I got a job in Oxford and moved over here, and yeah, the rest is history. Kind of sort of
Yeah.
messaged. I know you were chatting to Darragh about Arrow before.
Yeah. How do you have you come across Darragh much or
A couple of times. A couple of times. He's a gentleman.
yeah.
Yeah, couldn't. He's an absolute gent. But yes, I sort of came over and always mind messaging the page before I came over, being like, here, I'm moving over. Any
Hmm.
chance I could train with you? Here was me hoping, like, please let them be a dual club. Please let them be a dual club. And the manager rings me. Yeah, so our football team are doing well. Oh, what about your hurlers? No, we don't have any hurling at the minute. Here's me. Yuck. So anyway, so
So you
we
went to
headed
set
over.
up a hurling basically.
Well, yeah, essentially. That's sort of how it came about. So I came over, I always meant I got the boat 4th of July 2020. And my first football training was the 7th of July.
Wow. With
Yeah,
Aero, was it?
with Arrow guy. So then
That's for
Ah,
anyone who's listening. Darragh is Darragh the Menace, Ennis from The Chase, who myself and Eamon both know, and Darragh was on the podcast before. So Darragh was secretary or still is secretary of Air Oak, I think.
he was the registrar,
A registrar, yeah.
but obviously with Furran coming in, it's sort
Mm,
of the registrar's a bit of a no, it's just fallen to the club secretary.
yeah. So St
But Darragh,
Declan's is the hurling associate essentially, is it?
yeah. So I know you and Dara chatted a little bit about Hertfordshire and how the whole
Mm,
thing works. We were chatting to Colin Kills before as well, weren't
that's
you?
right, yeah. Yeah.
I haven't got to listen to that one. I saw it when I was
St
looking for the
Albans,
dog.
no? Is that right?
I,
Albans, is that where they're from?
St Albans. I'm nearly
Yeah,
sure. Hold on,
Albans,
Joe
yeah.
Bolton Cross. Albans. Nearly sure. Then no, Colin Kills. They're Luton.
Luton. Oh,
No, I'm
uh,
wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Am I wrong? I should know
I
this,
think
but
it
I'm
is. I think they
absolutely
were
blank.
early on. I'm trying to remember like episode 3 or 4
I'd
of season
absolutely blank
two.
myself. I should know this. I play the lads twice a year.
Does that mean
They're
is
gonna
what?
kill me.
I'm trying to remember my geography from the Watford. Is Watford the main area in
So
Hertfordshire?
yeah, so in
Yeah.
Hertfordshire, basically we've got about 6 or 7 clubs within
Okay.
Hertfordshire. You've got Cambridge, you've got two in Luton, Watford, Waltham Cross, Oxford, St Albans. So I think that's 7,
Okay.
unless
Not
I've
too bad.
forgotten one. And if anyone's listening here and I've forgotten your club, I
No
am very,
apologies
very sorry.
whatsoever. We don't care. It means you're
I've
no
only
good.
for, I've only forgotten you because you haven't sent me out hurlers. So
Nice. There you go. Good reason. Yeah. How did St. Declan's get going then after your 7th of July training session?
Well, you see, St Declan's predates me a lot. St
Okay.
Declan's as a club was formed by a combination of minds back in 2014.
Okay.
So there
10 years
was
next year.
Hertfordshire had a very yeah, we have to do something for it.
Mm-hmm.
But Hertfordshire traditionally had a very strong hurling tradition, specifically Oxford.
Okay.
So I know my football club Aero, we've won 7 or 8 football championships now. We've won over 20 Hertfordshire hurling championships.
Right. That's good.
So Hertfordshire
Interesting.
always had this really strong hurling tradition. And then in the 80s, well, we say maybe the 90s, I was told, it was way before my time. Obviously, I'm only mid-20s, like.
Hmm.
But in the 80s and the 90s, it sort of all migrated over to football, and the hurling just stopped.
Well, that's interesting.
So yeah, then in 2013, 2014, a couple of the guys within the county got together. One fella by the name of Jeremy Walsh and another, I don't know what level of involvement everyone had in it, but there was Jeremy Walsh, Frank Dillon, who's the provincial secretary now for Britain.
Okay.
Great fella. Does a lot for the GAA over here. But him, Jeremy, and a couple other lads all got together with a few of the footballers from across the county who were guild players from home. And a couple of lads as well had played for a previous hurling club which was based in Luton called Owen Row.
Okay.
Or Owen Rua, as some of the lads pronounce it Rua. Potato.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was a hurling club there. I don't know much about it. But anyway, we had this bunch of hurlers. They all came together in 2014. And lad, they didn't even have jerseys. Like I have photos. I was sent photos from the old PRO, like an old photo bank. And the first time they lined out, for the first year they lined out, they wore the Hertfordshire County football jerseys.
No, none of their own.
None of their own. They wore the green and yellow meat coloured Hertfordshire County football jerseys.
What was it? Yeah, is it green or meat? Oh, jeez. You've lost me now. I'm gonna have to hang up on you. Sorry.
The brown arm. The brown arm.
Yeah,
Or actually,
no.
Neil Brown arm. Neil Brown arm.
Yeah, I know you don't. Yeah. And are you all Irish lads, or have you any locals involved as well?
Oh, it's a great mix. It's a
Oh,
great
good.
mix. So Jeremy's good example, like Jeremy's son, Stephen, he plays for us now. So whenever the club played for a few years, and then it's sort of a few things happened all within a few months of each other to individuals within the club and to the club itself. You know, we had a pile of lads emigrated.
Right.
So, and we also went into London, which really sort of knocked the club. So we played in Warwickshire from
Yeah.
2015, I think 2016, 2015, 2016. and then we went into London for a couple of years,
Big
a
jump.
year or two. Big jump.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's related. No one will give me a straight answer. You ask one lad, he'll tell you yes, another lad will tell you no. A lot of things happened to the club at the same time. It was it really was a series of unfortunate events for them. And yeah, the club just couldn't field in 2018. And then, yeah, likewise for 2019. I came over in 2020 and asked about it and was told there's nothing. And then at the end of 2020, I was told, right, there's nothing. But if you want to take it on, it's there. So the club still existed. Like, there were still email addresses, there was still registered, it was still affiliated. But myself and I sort of probably wouldn't have got it going if it weren't for the fact there was another lad in the club who was just as mad about hurling as me. So there's another boy, Alan Hayes, had just moved over from Kilkenny.
Not a bad player to have from Kilkenny.
Yeah, I know. St Kieran's College, the works.
Oh, yeah.
But no, he was mad for his hurling as well. So the two of us sort of sat down end of 2020. We were like, right, we'll see what we can do here. See if we can do anything. So in 2021, they used to run the provincial development 9-a-side competitions.
Oh, yeah. Just the British Council, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the British Council. So
yeah.
The first time we fielded, whenever I was sort of handling things, was in June, July time, 2021. And it's mad because looking back, like, I'll actually just very quickly have a look at the photo here because I've got it on my Instagram. But it's mental looking at the team because, like, we have lads, homegrown lads. You've got lads from Cork, lads from Clare, me from Derry. And then in midfield, we had Stephen Malumphey, who used to play for Waterford.
No way.
I swear to God.
Where did he come out?
He was over in Oxford for a year, and he says, sure, if there's any hurling, let us know. And like, I remember watching him when I've told him this, like, he's absolute genuinely so down to earth, really good guy. Did a lot to help us. And like, I can text him even now for coaching tips and he'll get back to me. Like, really nice guy.
I'll have to text him now and tell him to come on here and do a part 2. He can verify some of the stuff you say.
If you go onto my Instagram, lad, the very first photo on the St Declan's Instagram, look at the man wearing number 8. There he is.
I'll have to check that out after, yeah.
Go ahead.
That's
but I always mind, like, we were warming up at that, and we were wearing the Isle jerseys, and everyone was saying, "Oh, here, it's great to see us back out. It's great to have another team in Warwickshire." Because obviously, I never actually give context to the club. The club is an amalgamation of all the football clubs within Hertfordshire who play in the Hertfordshire Championship to then field in Warwickshire.
Okay.
So that's why I made that joke earlier. If I've forgotten your club, it's because you haven't sent me any hurlers.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So, like, we have lads from, oh no, St Columkills is St Albans. I was getting mixed up with St Vincent from Luton. That's where I was going on.
I knew it wasn't
with lads. It was me. It's too late at night here, lads.
Yeah.
We've lads from all over. So we've like 2 or 3 lads from Cambridge. We've 1 lad from Watford. We've 5 lads from Oxford. We've quite a few lads from Luton. 1 from Walton Cross. We've lads from everywhere. But we play in Warwickshire. So there's 5 teams, including us, in Warwickshire, 5 hurling clubs. But I mind we went up to this first 9-a-side, and everyone was saying, "Oh, here, it's great to see us back out. It's great to see us fielding again. It's great to see another club in the county." And I mind afterwards, after our first match, we played against St Barnabas.
Oh, yeah.
And they're a Nottingham team. And I remember chatting to one of the managers of one of the other clubs that was there. And she says to me, she was watching us warm up. And she said to the other manager of her club, "Here, that looks wild like Stephen Malumphey warming up there with Declan's." But what the would Stephen Malumphey be doing at the age of 37 at a 9-a-side in Coventry?
And there he was.
The ball got thrown in. I had him in midfield. Like, the ball got thrown in. He won it at the throw in. And literally just powered down the field within 10 seconds back of the net.
Game over.
Oh, literally. She says she turned to the other manager at that point and goes, "Jeez, that must be Stephen Murphy."
It's either that or it's his twin brother who has never played for Waterford. That's hilarious.
Honestly, it was incredible. And he was one of those guys just brought everyone else in the pitch up a step.
You're kind of forced to play better because he's there, I suppose. Yeah. And same for mentioning matches, actually, what I always ask most of the clubs abroad is your toughest opponents. Who would they be generally? Because every club has their rivalries.
I'll be honest with you. Last year we lost every match.
Deadly.
So like
Everybody.
everybody, lad, everybody. I think this year,
Is this a good time to segue into the story about this season then?
well, if you want to go there, we'll go there. I did get on very quickly. I have to give the lads a shout out because I did start talking about a couple of the homegrown lads.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we have Stephen Walsh, whose father was one of the original founders of the club. That's where the St Declan's name comes from because his father's from Waterford.
Nice.
And St Declan's the patron saint of Waterford. And we've Marty O'Donnell's our captain. His family are Limerick, but he was raised over here as well. But I mean, I say these lads were raised over here. They were back in Ireland every chance they got.
Yeah.
So like they're as Irish as you and me, they just have different accents.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
I've met plenty of those at the World Games as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, so what happened is then 2021 we went out, we won that one match against St Barnabas. Our next match that day, Mullumphey got injured in the first minute.
Season over.
That was it. Nah, he jumped in goals first and he helped a bit, but the team we were playing were just a different level. Like, and then we went up the road then to the next nine aside. I landed in. I had 11 men when I was leaving, and I landed in to Park na Herne with 8. We had 3 dropouts while I was driving up.
But Jesus.
Yeah, so it happens, like, you know, but
Yeah.
you know what? We're here anyway. We'll go and there's grass in the field, play ball.
Yep.
So we got bait badly.
Oh well, that happens. Yeah, it's the story just goes down and down further, and then eventually you get to the good parts.
Chinny. So yeah, last year then we had an AGM at the end of 21. We thought, right, we want to do this properly. What do we need to do? I mean, myself, Marty, Alan Hayes, who I mentioned earlier, Frank Dillon, he was helping us just with because he's some position on the Hertfordshire County Board as well. He's either secretary or chairman. I think he's chair. Or chairperson, sorry. I think he is chair. And he was there just to help us to make sure that we covered all our bases. We had another fella, Johnny McGee from St Joe's in Waltham Cross.
Okay.
So the 5 of us were on this call. We thought, right, what do we need to do? We need to build a spine. We need to try and field. And we need to actually get some sort of a team going here. Not just what we were in 2021, where it was random lads I pulled out of every club.
Yeah.
Who could find a hurl. Let's go up and play hurling. You know, we need to sort of identify where our base is going to be, or do we travel?
Yeah.
Do we need to sort of identify who's good in what positions, who's captain, all these things. What
Establish a proper team then, really.
Exactly. Establish a team. And we knew that 2022 was going to be tough. We knew it was going to be tough. We were struggling for training. You know, I mind in 2021 before one of those 9-a-sides, Aero, they were very good to us. Very, very good to us. They would have had maybe the pitch book, because obviously from the podcast with Darragh, he mentioned that we rented pitches.
Yeah.
Still the case.
Okay.
So if they were using half the pitch and there was another half left, I would have got a text saying, if you can get your lads over, there's half a pitch book there.
That sound, yeah. You can't beat that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, they were good to us now. But yeah, we ended up, I mind those training sessions in 21 where it was me, Marty O'Donnell, and Robbie Burns, who was another lad used to play for us for More and More.
That was it.
And that was it. There was the 3 of us, and Marty would have driven 2.5 hours from Luton to come over and have a talk about. Like, it was yeah, we would have had that. So then going into 22, we thought, right, we'll definitely field in league. Let's see if we want to field in the championship.
Okay.
So I got in touch with the CCC and the county board in Warwickshire. I was quite lucky because Warwickshire County Hurling was also getting up and going then. And listen, lad, I am a mediocre hurler at best. I can hurl me Owen if I'm fit and I'm fast.
Yeah.
But like at present, I'm sitting with half a beer belly on me. Like I am massively mediocre. Like, but I was lucky to get involved in the county setup, and that was actually for me. It was a very good way of getting to know who's who, and getting to know the county chairman, and getting to know the county secretary, and getting to know players from different clubs. So then, when it came to playing the league and playing the championship, I could text like, "Oh, we're playing this team. I know a lad from there. I'll give him a text and see if I can get his manager's number."
Yeah.
No, as opposed to going in blind, I had some sort of idea on who was who, just from being involved with the county setup with the lads.
That's what you want to.
So, yeah, so then going into 22, we played. Jeez, who did we play? I know we played John Mitchell's of Birmingham. We played St Finbar's 2 or 3
Coventry.
times in Coventry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have their jersey on the wall here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the ones on the international wall here. Yeah, lovely orange jersey.
I know, they're good crack now. But we had Finbar's of Coventry. We played Barnabas at the very end of the year. We played Aaron Gobra once or twice, I think. Most of the matches were because we played John Mitchell's and Finbar's a couple of times at the start of the year. And bearing in mind, they're just after contesting and drawing in the senior championship final last weekend.
Following them, yeah.
You sort of guess how that went.
Yeah.
We absolutely hammered.
Yep.
And it was tough, like, because you're trying to motivate lads to
go out
come
and
on,
get the shit
come
kicked
on.
out of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, how do you say to lads, like, lads, we're going to lose this, but don't let it get you down?
How do you say that 100 times? Yeah.
Honestly, you don't. But like we would have been going up. I always mind going up to play John Mitchell's. And lad, we had 11 men. And sorry, let me rephrase. Oh, we've only 10 minutes left. We had arranged to play at 11 aside. And I landed up with 7 men. I had to borrow 4 of their players and play at 11 aside. And I had to ring the CCC on the way back down and say, listen, we're just going to concede that match.
Yeah.
Because I had to field 4 of their players. That wasn't a competitive match. That was a friendly.
Yeah.
And that happened once or twice. We had St Finbar's then. We entered the championship in the end up. And I mind we were in a championship, either round robin, I think it was. Yeah, we were in a championship round robin against St Finbar's. No, it might have been the semi-final then because it was against the Bars. We're in a championship semi-final against St Finbar's. And I'm in Darragh. This was one day that was probably the toughest day of that year. Darragh were in the football championship final.
Right.
We'd lost it in 2021. This is 2022. This is our chance to win it again. But that was at maybe 2:00. I can't exactly remember. That was in Waterford at the Glen Rovers pitch. And like I said, I'm a mediocre footballer as well. So like I was never much of a footballer, so I wasn't playing. But I'd been there all year, and it was my club, and I had to leave that match at halftime to go up to Park Nairn and get hammered by St Finbar's because we didn't have enough players otherwise.
Not enjoyable, is it?
No. But that was tough. That was probably the worst day of it. That was the hardest thing I had to do with the club. But yeah, so we sort of
we'll talk positive, will we?
Yeah, exactly. It was tough. 2022 was tough.
But 2023 has been, judging by the pictures on Instagram, it's been a different year.
Yeah, well, coming into 23, we were quite fortunate. I sort of had learned where to play players. We have a lad, and he's an absolute solid as anything fullback. And I was putting him corner forward because I just didn't know where to put my lads.
Yeah.
We have another lad who's an absolute wizard in midfield, but I was playing him corner forward because I thought, okay, he's small and he's nippy. I would hate to mark him in corner forward because I'm a corner back myself, like our wing back. I'd hate to mark him, so I'll put him corner forward. Then I realized someone says to me, "What are you doing? Put him midfield."
Yeah.
So I put him midfield, and he just hits the game so well. So yeah, this year basically we had the league. We had a couple of games in the league, and first match out for this year was against Darragh from Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. First half we were 7 points up, and then they pulled it back, and they eventually ran away with it in the second half, which is unfortunate because it's mad, the difference in the performance, even that one match that was seen in that one match. Because like the lads, we were properly out. Like the things we did differently. We got a new set of jerseys, which was badly needed. We
Yeah.
had half a set of jerseys, like, and no shorts. We were training properly.
That's the start.
We had actually decided on a pitch that we wanted to use, and we were using that pitch, and that was our pitch. Like, and we were training properly, and then the lads were actually trying. There's a bit of morale there. There's a bit of want. I said at the start of the year, our goal for this year is the Hurling Cup. That's what we want to win, and let's work towards that. We lost against Gobra. Didn't really take that into heart because the performance I saw by the lads was just incredible.
The
And,
fact
we
you
got
were ahead at one stage is even enough.
I don't think that ever happened us
Yeah.
before in 2022. Not in 22 anyway. We hadn't been leading the match since that match we had with Malumphie in 21.
Wow.
So yeah, and then going into the championship, then our first match was against Barnabas, and we won that one. It was a close margin. It was a close margin because we let it slip in the last few minutes. We won that one, and that was the first match we'd won since excluding that match against back in 21. That was the first one we'd won since I sort of took over the reins.
Big moment for you then.
Oh, Jesus, I was near crying at the end of it. But I need to emphasize, like, I'm not doing this all by myself. Like, there is a committee of lads.
Yeah.
We all help each other out. I know I'm talking about me a lot here. Like, the lads will kill me if I don't mention them.
I'll just edit all that part out. He's just been talking about himself non-stop.
All right, Cunis. Oh, but yeah, so like, obviously that lad Marty, he's our captain as well, plays centre half back or wing half back. There's Stevie Cannon goals. Like there's myself, Marty, Stevie, and Stevie Walsh as well helps us out. He would also play in goals, but he prefers outfield. Like the four of us would sort of run things as the club. So I'm now chairman. I was secretary last year. Hayes was chairman. Hayes now off to Australia. I'm chairman. Stevie Cannon's the secretary, and then Marty's treasurer. And between us, we all handle the PRO stuff.
All right.
But there was, yeah, exactly. And like Marty, he'd be Luton based, so he recruits a lot of Luton lads. I pull the Oxford lads in as best I can. And then we got a lot of stuff through word of mouth, through, oh yeah, I work with a lad. He's from Clare. He hurdles. Yes, fine. Give him a number.
Yep.
But yeah, so then that Barnabas match, that was incredible. Like I nearly cried. Yet I thought we'd won a championship because I was screaming because they pulled it back coming towards the final whistle. Like second half, they got 2-3 or 2-4. So I think the final score was like 6-10, 5-7 or something.
Jesus. That's some scoring.
Oh, I know. It was even getting a pitch for that match was a handling, but we're short in time, so I'll not get into it too much.
Oh, you're all right.
But
that's impressive though. Like 6-10 is for a team who went a whole season or more without victory.
It was mental. Like it was absolutely incredible. I was so proud of the lads. I'm pretty sure I did cry a little bit at the final whistle. Like, and then yeah, exactly. And then we were against Gobra next. Aaron Gobra from Birmingham. They've just struggled a little bit this year with numbers. I got the phone call. It happens all of us. Like it happened to us last year. They're sort of like it's not something you would nail a club on over here.
Yeah.
I know not in our county, maybe in some of the larger counties likes of Lancashire or London, it might be a bit different, but in Warwickshire, typically like we all struggle the odd time.
Yeah.
So Gobra rang us and they had just conceded the match that morning. I had lads already on the way up the road, so I posted into the group chat and said, lads, Gobra only have 11 lads. Do you want to go and just play them 11 aside? And we did, and we beat them 11 aside. That was more, I wanted the lads to have something to show as well
Yeah.
for that, because that was going towards us getting to a championship semi-final and eventually to the Hullen final.
A walkover doesn't feel
Exactly. It doesn't
good.
feel like.
Yeah.
Now, in saying that, our captain Marty, he pulled a hamstring in that match, and Stevie Cannon, our goalkeeper, dislocated his finger. So maybe we should have just stayed down the road.
Hindsight.
But yeah, wonderful thing, isn't it?
That's class.
But yeah, so we had that, and then it worked out. We played St Finbarrs again in the championship semi-final, and they beat us well that match. They beat us well. I think we scored like 1-8 to, I don't know what they scored, but they were full of compliments for us. Like, one of their players I know quite well, he came up to me in the clubhouse after the match, was like, "Lad, you have improved so much. Like, well done. Whatever you're doing is working."
That's what you need to hear.
Exactly.
Makes all the difference, yeah.
Oh, it was great. And then we had Barnabas in the final, and that was last Sunday, and it was just, the gear had come in the same day.
Oh,
like,
nice.
just before. The gear had literally come in that Friday. The match was on Sunday. I brought 2 kit bags up, one with my gear and one with all the actual club gear in it to give out. But yeah, it was great because we were lining out, and I was looking around, I was sort of pinching myself, thinking like, Jesus, if I go back to 3 years ago,
where you come from.
Yeah, like, it was mad. But it's great. Like, it's been a mental journey, and we won that match well. And just the lads have done so well. It's been a crazy journey.
Right, so the final, St Barnabas, talk us through it.
Jeez. Match was originally meant to throw in at 1 o'clock as a curtain raiser to the senior final at 2:30, which was Finbarrs against Mitchells. As was pretty much a running theme for us throughout the year, there was a football match on that same day.
Right. It sounds familiar.
Yep. Bear in mind, we're an amalgamated club, so like, if there's a football match on this straight away, there's 2 of our feeder clubs. And so there was a bit of to and fro on about the whole thing, and eventually, because the 2 clubs concerned provided quite a number of rather strong players to us, and then me as well. It was my football club. But there was a bit of to and fro, and then the county board just thought, no, we'll just postpone those matches. There were cup finals, but the championship had already been played.
All right.
They still wanted to play the cups because they were in memories of great men within the county, and you can't let them fall by the wayside. It's just been postponed, and they will be played. But I think the county board sort of sat back and thought, right, listen, we have a team up representing us in a code that we know we're not strong in. If we proceed with this game as planned, we're just going to take away from their chances of winning.
Makes sense.
So, yeah, no, it was very good of them. I got a phone call off one of the people within the county. I'll not say who, and he just says, "Listen, lad, we're going to postpone those matches. We don't want to take away from Declan whenever he has a chance to get some silverware." So yeah,
silverware came.
Yeah, and trying to work around that, the throw in then got pushed to 2 o'clock initially because we're trying to work around that football match. If we could push it earlier and then push the match a little bit, lads might have time to get up the road. But I know it's bad. I know exactly how long it takes to Park na Heron. It takes to get to Park na Heron from most of the main pitches in Hertfordshire.
Right.
Fly up from them most times. But yeah, like, we're trying to work it, and then the final. I landed in at 12 o'clock.
It's well in time.
Well, no, you see, I wanted to make sure we had a decent change room. I don't know if you've been to Park na Heron recently.
I've not been to it ever, no.
Oh, all right. Oh, you'll have to get sometime. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good setup. But the thing is, we're getting a new clubhouse there.
Yeah, so I heard. That's great.
Yeah, the old one's it's a lost cause now. So I wouldn't say that. No, it's the old one's done it's served its time. If you want a decent change room, you have to lay claim to them early, like.
Right.
And I knew that the 2 main change rooms were going to be claimed for the senior championship final. which is fair enough.
Yep.
They're the ones right next to the main pitch.
Hmm.
I went in and made sure we had a changing room, one that locks, the lads didn't have to lug their gear down with them, and we had hot showers and everything ready. Just making sure that the lads had
Good management, yeah.
well, I mean, it's the first time this year we've managed it, but
Well, it's good management by you anyway.
got to start somewhere. But yeah, and then just getting the gear ready, and
Was it Roy Keane's for was it fail to repair, prepare to fail?
that was it. I just
Yeah.
thought, you know what, if I'm going to try at any point this year,
Yeah, there you go. Ideal time to do it.
yeah, no, it was grand. I went up and got our changing room ready. Went down, saw what the pitch was looking like. We were on the 4G, like so, but it'd been raining the night before, so I just want to see sort of what level of water there was on it. And yeah, and then just got the gear ready, got the changing room ready, had a chat with a couple of the ones about the place, waited on my lads coming in, and had a chat with them all in the changing room. It's funny because one of my lads who plays for us, he'd be his now wife, he recently got married, is an Irish dancing teacher.
All right.
And he carts about the big speaker that they use for her lessons.
Yeah.
So I read into the group chat beforehand. Anybody got a Bluetooth speaker? He writes in, yeah, I should have one in the boot. I'm thinking, I thought he was going to land him with like a wee Beats pill or something. Like he lands in with this speaker. It's about 1.5 by 1.5 by a foot. Huge thing. I had to 2 hands carry it in, set it up in the thing. And he was like, yeah, don't turn that up past like a quarter.
Yeah, blow the head off everybody.
Oh, honestly, but yeah, I had a bit of. I have my own playlist that I would listen to, just my own songs that I have on that, and I just threw that on to try and see if it gets some sort of atmosphere in the work. Got some form of an atmosphere going. Got the jerseys given out, bit of a team talk to the lads.
I think everyone's going to want to know what the key song on that playlist is.
It's actually, you know what?
Are you like Brian O'Driscoll playing, Children by Robert Miles, or are you more?
No, but funny, in a past life, I used to be a spin instructor. That's completely random. But I used to go for that. I used to have a chill out session at the end of all my classes where I would play children. Yeah, Numb Encore by in Lincoln Park.
Great choice.
Yeah.
That'll get things going, yeah. I've done about 5 spin classes in my life, and some of the tunes off it are brilliant. But yeah, that's a great choice, yeah.
That's the main one off the playlist. So Numb or All of the Lights, Cinderella Man.
Nah, you're losing me now.
Cinderella Man by Eminem.
Yeah, no, go back to Jay-Z and Linkin Park. That's more. I'd be going for that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also one. There's one that I skip it if it comes on in the thing, but it's for me is there's a really good cover by Oroche of Oroche de Bavahawalia or Oroche.
Yeah.
Really good version of that by Shaolin.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's on my playlist as well, but it just gets you ready to just go out and hit some lad like
that's deadly, yeah. And what did you beat Barnabas by in the end, or?
I was a good bet. I'll say it was a good bet.
Okay, so comprehensive victory.
Yeah, it was higher scoring than the last time we played them.
It was but that's what you were looking for after so long.
Well, yeah, it was. You know what? We'll get into it because every time we got bait last year, the score was all over social media.
Yeah,
I kept
fair
it
enough.
I kept it off our Instagram because I didn't want to be
the bollocks. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be about it, but
final
score was I think 8-18 to 2-12.
2-12 on another day would win a lot of GAA matches. Like, it'd win the Mayo County final anyway. It's more than both teams scored.
That's true actually. We'll not talk about that. That's the big ball.
Oh, I know.
On slit or more.
Mm-hmm.
It would win it until you're up against the team which is the Warwickshire County midfield playing in the club.
Okay.
The midfield setup we had that day. So if you go back to when I was talking about 2021, we talked about building the spine. We now have that spine. We've got now that match was played 13 aside, but if it were 15, we've got a really strong full back. We have a very, very strong centre half back. Like there was a referee in the Finbars match who likened him to Dermot O'Sullivan.
Wow.
Yeah,
Full
this
on
lad.
rock.
That's literally his nickname. This by Rock. Mike, he's a unit. Like but he's also a really skillful hurler. Like, he's a really good hurler. But that's what I'm saying. So we've got a really, really good fullback, a couple of really good cornerbacks. And then we've got good centre half back. We've got a lad who played county at wing back. And then I normally just throw myself the other wing back. And then that's his 15. Midfield, we've got a lad from Cork and a lad from Dublin. Two of them start midfield for Warwickshire senior county hurlers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they've
Centre
been in Crow Park then?
No,
No.
one of them has. One of them
Yeah.
has. One of them, I think, either won the Laurie Maher or was in the Nicky Rackard final.
Warwickshire, I think, won
They won
Nicky
Laurie.
Rackard. They won Laurie Maher.
They won Laurie Maher.
Yeah, they did,
They
yeah.
lost Nicky Rackard.
Didn't Zach Maradi and Leitrim beat them one year?
No, they beat Maradi, I think, in the
What did
Laurie
they?
Maher. I think they beat them in the Laurie Maher final. They won it in 2014, then they won it again in 2017. And I think they were in against Donegal in the 18
All right.
Rackard final.
Zach, if you're listening, you can correct us on that one.
Please do. Please do, because
I'll get in touch with
I'm
him,
only
yeah.
going off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so we've a few lads and a few lads that transferred in and moved in and moved over and moved across, and that's the nature of the GAA over here. Is you get lads coming and going a lot, and we're just fortunate that we've had a lot of lads coming this year.
It's the nature in everywhere, because I know from being out in Europe, in Leuven, like meeting all the different teams, it's either semester wise if it's like a university team, or it's profession wise if you're like the entire Warsaw team is all vets, and then it's a bit like you guys as well. It's immigration and in and out. So yeah, it's same everywhere really.
Exactly, but yeah, like even just going back to that match, we had two really strong midfielders. We have a lad from Belfast, from St Gall's in Belfast,
Oh
playing
yeah,
centre half forward.
a well-known team, yeah.
Yeah, he's very strong hurler. And then
Any Westmeath lads, no?
No, but I'll play football with a Westmeath lad.
Who's that?
John Corrigan.
John Corrigan. Where's he from?
He's from across. I went through this with him before. But it was a couple of years.
Sounds like at Loan or somewhere the wrong side of the county.
Where is John? Castle Pollard.
Oh God. Okay, he's only out the road, so right.
Nice.
Have to suss out his family so after this and see if I can track him down.
See who's who. I know he plays football with. But no, we've no Westmeath hurlers. No, we've none of those boys.
So you would have won loads if you had a few of them, but
we do have a Leitrim. We do have a Leitrim lad playing for us actually in corner back.
I wouldn't worry about them. They're not hurlers. They're only blow-ins.
You say that to this boy, see how that
I know,
is.
yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be the last time I ever said.
I know, jeez. But no, we've got a very strong team there. We've got that spine's there, and I'm also starting to we can branch out from it. Like it's not just it's not just a case of we've got the spine and then take the weaker players and just put them on either side. It's actually a case now of, okay, I've got, pardon me, like I've got Michael in centre half forward. I'll put Mark on one wing and I'll put someone else in the other wing because I know that they can swing points from far out.
Okay.
Lads actually have that talent, and one of the great things about the club is seeing lads develop as well.
That
was
it's great. It's great if they stay on long enough as well.
Oh yeah. Like it was something that I saw very much in that Barnabas match. We have a lad, Mark Fee, came out to us start of last year, and I taught him how to swing a hurl.
Wow.
I remember sitting with him in Stockwood Park in Luton and teaching him, right, do you play golf? Aye. Hold it like a golf club and switch your hands around. And if I see you holding it like a golf club again, it'll be the last thing you do it. But his father's from Down, like, so he knows the crack with an order.
Yeah.
But and I taught him to hurl, and he scored 3 points in that final. from wing forward.
So for you, then that's a personal kind of indication of all your hard work as well, which is something you want.
You know what? It's nice for me to see, but I'm just so proud of some of those lads. Like
Mm.
with Mark there, he's a great example. With
You've got
hmm,
lads who've come from
you've
no
got lads,
background to winning championships now.
yeah, like Harrison with another lad, Harrison, and he played cornerback against St Finbars, and he only started hurling with us this year.
All right.
I remember marking him in a football match. So he's with a club that we played at the start of the year. And I was quite ill this day. I got brought off at half time because I was just so unwell. Like I was just
Right.
coming back from the dose of the flu or something. And I mind marking this lad, and he's actually a lovely wee lad, but I didn't know him at the time. Like,
Yeah.
and I just spent the whole half calling him a shit Justin Bieber because
That's a
he's
good
got like
one.
long brown hair. Like I was like,
Yeah.
just a shit, Justin Bieber. Anytime he was running with the ball. And then he came out to hurling training 2 weeks later. I was like, here, lad, I owe you an apology there. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
He was sound, but he was like, lad, I don't even remember. But if you did say that, it's funny.
Yeah. That's what you
But
want. You know he's going to be a good player in the team then.
exactly, like,
Yeah.
and he doesn't even own his one hurley. I lend him some of mine. I lend him a couple of my hurleys, like, and he played cornerback against St Finbars, and he was nominated for man of the match
Jeez.
because he was marking this unbelievable corner forward for St Finbars, and he just shut him down for the second half. Completely shut him down.
Justin Bieber
And
wouldn't be able to do that.
oh, exactly, exactly. No, but like it wasn't even like it was just pure dogged determination of
Yeah.
you're not getting past me. If I
Yeah.
have to rugby tackle you here, not that he did, but like you're not getting past me. If you go left, I go right. If you go left, I go left. If you go right, I go right. My arms are out. You're not getting past me here, lad.
That's brilliant. That's class stuff.
Oh, it was unreal to watch. And I grabbed him after the match and I had to say to him, I was like, lad, I'm so proud of you. You played so, so well there. Like, I'm delighted to see that.
It's unreal, isn't it, when you see
Oh,
these
we have
lads coming
such a
through as
good
well.
development. Because we
Yeah.
don't have the youth setup like as a
Mm.
club. Now, Hertfordshire does have a youth setup, but
Mm.
we don't have as much to do with it.
Yeah.
Like, but like for hurling, that is, there's a lot of football coming through.
Because I was
But
going to
yeah,
ask, that's kind of one of my other things is what's the future for the club like?
well, what's the future? So there's St Coleman's was set up last year as a youth setup.
Okay.
And that sort of, I know from again your chat with Darragh, he sort of mentioned how it's all the ages mixed together.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the crack with the hurling. We don't have much to do with them. It's ran away way out the other end of the county. We know the lads who run it, and like we said to them, if ever there's anything you need from us, give us a shout. Like we're more than happy to help out. But they seem to be doing well, and more power to them. Like they have our numbers if ever there's lads coming through and who want to line out for the senior team.
That sounds pretty good then. So you've got a fairly kind of positive outlook on it, even if you do lose players or get new ones in.
It's like that every year. Like, it's as I said, like all the clubs go through phases of struggling with numbers. And I know ours is going to come, it probably is going to come in the next few years. Like, we're going to lose a few lads. It's inevitable. I might end up moving away. I hope I don't. But, like, you never know how things work out. And, yeah, like, but we know that we've got maybe 10 or 12 young hurlers out training with St Coleman's, and if they want to keep it going, the options there to come out to us. And
Brilliant,
likewise, we've got, because we just don't have the facilities within the senior club to take underage players.
Yeah, that's fair
Like,
enough.
there's obviously a lot of administrative stuff, and like we don't have a safeguarding officer within the club for players,
and then
it's
insurance
just,
and all that stuff as well.
Exactly. Like we've obviously got insurance for the senior players and all, but like we just don't have the capacity as a committee. There's only
Expand out that much, yeah.
Exactly. And like we're all players.
And
we
workers.
Don't have members. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I've got a full-time job as well.
Well, what do you actually work at?
Oh, lad, now you're asking. So
Is this like Darragh trying to explain how he delves into the brains of fruit flies or something? No.
Something as complicated to explain. I work with regulations for medical devices.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's basically like I sort of specify with the US FDA. If you have a medical device,
Oh yeah,
you want to sell it
FDA
out in
approval
America or clearance
or clearance. Yeah,
or
I think we've all heard FDA approval in some film at some point in life. Yeah.
yeah, FDA. That phrase is the bane of my existence. If I hear it, I'm thinking, do they have an IDE? Do they have a PMA? You know, what's going on here? Because the thing is, like, when you do what I do, words. I'll not spend too long on this because last want to hear us talk about GAA. Like,
That's nice to
I'll
hear it
give
as
you a
well.
bit of give you a bit of background. Like, when you're talking about the US FDA and specifically with medical devices, they only approve. It's all to do with the classification, the risk-based classification of your device. Like, so if you have something like a sticky plaster or like a face mask, very topical. Well, not anymore, thankfully. But
Yeah.
that would be class 1, lowest risk class. Now, those are just examples. There could
Yeah.
be different ones. Like, these aren't hard and fast rules. And then it gets a bit more complex when you start talking about class 2 and 3.
Right.
It typically medium risk device would be class 2 and higher risk or novel technology would be class 3.
What's an example of that?
Oh.
Elon Musk stuff.
Well, like,
if he was to invent a medical thing, I'd be putting that in a separate class of risk on its own.
I would. If I was an FDA inspector and that man came to me with a medical device, I don't know. I'd update my CV. Like,
To be showing him the door first off, definitely.
honestly, like, but yeah. So essentially, like, what I do is that's the FDA side, and I work in the manufacturer side. So I basically look at what they need to keep FDA happy.
All right. Okay.
You
That's
know,
a pretty
like,
good explanation, to be fair, considering I thought you were going to go down Darragh's fruit fly
yeah. I
brains
mean,
route.
funny enough, I'm a microbiologist by training, but we'll not get into
Right.
that.
Okay.
I could start talking about gram positive, gram negative bacteria, different. Nah, we'll not do that. I think
you've
late enough
lost
in
me
the
now.
evening, you might fall asleep here. Lad.
You've lost me on that one, but it's good to know. No, I like to get
All
a
right.
little bit of a background on people as well. The last thing I suppose to ask you before I throw you into the quickfire round, is there anything that the listeners should know about St Declan's that you haven't said yet, or anything else that would be you want to plug for them or mention about them?
Jeez, I mean, like, if you or anyone you know or any of your friends are moving to Hertfordshire or are attempted to move to Hertfordshire, it's not like going to your J1. We can't get you a job. We cannot get you out. You're on your fucking own, like. But please do it and go out and hurl for me.
There you go. That's probably the best plug of a club I've ever heard. Because all the others are like, yeah, we'll sort you out with this, we'll sort you out with that. At
Nope,
least you're honest
we
and say
can't
we've
sort
got
you out.
nothing.
Lad, we didn't have a bank account until this year. Like,
Right. Oh, okay. So you're the full Bertie Ahern club then. Okay, we don't
oh,
own a bank account.
no, like, it's not in a dodgy way. It's just like the
Oh,
club
he
folded.
wasn't dodgy either, he claims.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep, I have to be very careful. Yep,
Yeah.
allegedly,
Of course,
allegedly.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Last thing you
Deadly.
need is a solicitor's letter.
Oh, I don't care. I said so many things on this that should get me sued, but I really don't care.
Well, I'll be fair. Last thing I need is a solicitor's letter.
Yeah, I couldn't care less about solicitors, to be honest. Right, you want to try the quick fire questions?
Go for it. Now, bear in mind, I grew up in the north with BBC. So,
Yeah.
like,
No, don't worry. This isn't
some of the RT ones might go over my head.
no, this isn't a quiz question type stuff. It's kind of your
for it.
choice, really. So, the quick fire ones. In St Declan's, who was the toughest nut, the lunatic?
Oh, Mike Nestor.
Okay, the man
Number
who
6, The Rock.
number 7. Oh, the Rock. Okay, yeah, dying to meet this lad. Dying to see what he looks like as well. St Declan's have a karaoke night. What is the club song of choice?
Ooh, Zombie.
Zombie. Okay, we're going full Irish rugby / South Africa rugby
Well,
after
I
today,
mean,
by the sounds of it.
we sang it after the final.
Deadly.
In the gym room after the final. So it's the first one that just comes to mind.
Yep, great song as well. Marty Morrissey or Des Cahill?
Marty Morrissey. It's a Marty
Nice.
party.
Marty Party.
You need the Marty party.
Nice.
Reynolds not included.
Another tagline. Toughest team you've ever played against, be it for St Declan's, be it back in Swatra, anywhere else.
Oh, geez, you have to give me a second to think about that because that's actually
I can go back to that one if you want.
I do because that's not a quick fire one. I have to think
Okay.
back and a
We'll
lot
come
of
back to
them.
that one. So, St Declan's are brought to Ireland to play any club or county. Who do you want to game against? Now, a team that you might think you might beat, and a team for nostalgic reasons you'd like to play.
What is it Michal he said about
Neither
his
Sturrid's hurling stronghold.
stronghold? Where was the other county? Fermanagh.
His mother from Fiji, his
Fiji
father from
father.
Fermanagh, neither hurling stronghold.
Fermanagh Junior F champions. We might be. I'm only messing.
Paddy Coyle, if you're listening, fill us in there and who the Fermanagh Junior F champions are.
Nah, Fermanagh don't even think they have a championship. I think it's just us below them. Nah, to be quite honest, I'd like to bring us to play probably a team in Kerry. Because
Like
I think
Lixnaw or one of them.
Because I think the thing is Stephen Malumphey's obviously doing a great job building the Kerry hurling.
Yeah.
And they're doing very well. And I'd like to play a more junior team in Kerry because more than anything, we'd be bringing the lads over and I'd want them to actually get a bit of scenery, a bit of like actual, not out of Dublin, like out of Belfast or out of Dublin, and actually show them about like.
Yeah, they're such a good up and coming team as well. Like they've nipped us a couple of times, and
not the actual Kerry senior county team, like one of the clubs in Kerry,
like a Lixnaw or somebody might be the
exactly
kind of ones you want,
smaller ones, and then for nostalgic reasons,
you bringing them up to Swatra, up to that direction.
I likely there.
Put them at the crossroads of Friels and tell them to find their way there.
Honestly, it's about 100 yards to the right. They wouldn't go far wrong. And the mad thing is, they'd be walking around looking lost by Hurley, and anyone in the village in the town is just like, you're looking that way.
Yeah. That's what you like it.
Yeah, I think either Swatra or Queen's, to be honest. Queen's University.
Been a interesting
one. Great time there.
Are you a short pass or drive it long type player?
I love just driving along. Like I play cornerback or wing back, and just if I see a man, if I see a man away on the opposition 21, like I am planting that ball in your hand.
Lovely.
And I can't even claim to be a short pass player anymore because the number of misweighted balls I gave in that final towards the end when I was shattered. Like I was so tired.
For safety reasons, you drive it long.
For safety, when you drive, if you have 3 seconds before that lunatic running at you is about to clonk you in the head, you drive it. Drive it. No, drive it.
Good old Noel. You're outside Crow Park. It's All Ireland final day. Derry are there. Are you buying a hat, a flag, a scarf, or a headband?
Headband. Hang the headband up on the wall afterwards.
It's a real Derry thing, I think. It's a real. I don't know.
We heard one say that before.
Yeah, I've had a few people saying that one before.
Hang it on the wall or hang it over the rearview mirror in the car.
Yeah, it must be a Derry thing. I have to look into that one. The water breaks in the GAA. Are you for or against them in general? People have talked about keeping them long term or not.
From a personal perspective, I'm unfit for them.
So yes.
No, I think to be honest, it presented a very interesting challenge to managers tactically. Because obviously, whenever we start playing, it was 2021, so we would have had the water breaks in the matches, and obviously when I was playing football and we had the water breaks, it was interesting because it was difficult for a team to keep momentum. I found coming into the second quarter or the fourth quarter of the match, but. To be quite honest, I would say for me personally as a player, I thought they were great because I'm awful at just not getting water anyway.
You needed them.
Forced us to take water on board, especially over here. We get hot summers in the south.
Okay, so potentially keeping it.
But as a manager, I'll say as a fan,
no,
no, get rid of them.
Slows down the game.
Yeah.
What about a couple more left? These are potentially a little bit trickier. You have to get a tattoo of any GAA player. Who are you getting and where are you getting it? This would
That's
always
an
leave
interesting
people
one.
hanging. Yeah, it's
I would probably get. Where is it people get crosses? Because I'd probably just get Owen Kelly on a cross.
the upper arm generally is kind of the
I just like
cross.
Owen Kelly
Yeah,
there on a cross.
yeah. There you go. Okay, Owen Kelly and a
Because he's the
cross
son of
upper
God,
arm.
like he's a son of
Yeah,
God.
fair enough. I think that's the first one that's had like a symbol in there as well. And the first, I think, on the arm, most people have said just get it on my arse.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like you could do that, or you could just get Marty Morrissey in your ass. I'm sure he played GAA at some point.
you could do, yeah. Actually,
Well, he
while
does.
I have to mention tattoos, I know it's completely off the point, but if any of the guys from Yavla in Sweden are listening, I hope Mr. Sandviken is doing very well. I'll tell you that story after and remind me to tell you that one. It's an absolute cracker.
I'm curious.
Yeah. Actually, not here. We'll just tell it now. We're on recording. Basically, I was at the Nordic Championships up in Yavla at the end of August, thanks to Dane and the ads in Lavla. The end of the after party the next day, I was back chatting to some of the lads, and they showed me a picture of a fella from one of the teams, Sandviken, slightly north of Gävle, which is an hour north of Stockholm. He had gotten so drunk he was duped into getting Sandviken tattooed the whole width of his back in giant letters, and the guy deliberately spelt it wrong as well, who
That's
got him into doing it. Yeah. I
oh,
don't care if that embarrasses anybody or if that story is not meant to be known. I don't care. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, that's just one I had to mention there as well. So
be a quick one. I'll not
yeah.
mention the lad in question here because he hates this story and
Oh
he's
great.
humiliated by it.
Yeah.
But he's the
Even
lad who
better.
used to play. He's the lad who used to play for me. I haven't seen him in a few months now,
Hmm.
so I'll assume he's decided to hang up the boots. But he went out to one of the British holiday destinations and he got his entire Sunday League 11-a-side team tattooed on the back
No.
of his left thigh,
Oh
on the
no.
back of his left leg,
No,
and it
no.
was like laid out like it would be on the program.
Jesus. That's awful. Oh
It was
God, it's Sunday,
so
not even a good team.
absolute.
Full
It
Sunday
was
league team.
horrendous. Like all the players.
Jeez.
Yeah. I
Okay.
texted him, I was like, lad, how did that even happen? I think he just replied with, my mum hasn't stopped crying since I got home.
I can understand why. That's pretty bad. That nearly tops, I think, my one, to be honest. So,
That one.
the
Anyway,
last
sorry.
no, you're right, you're gone. The last question, and then we go back to the toughest team one. Uh, the greatest GAA player ever in your lifetime.
Oh, I say if we go to both codes, it is it's hard to say anyone's ever going to beat Clifford for football.
Okay.
The man's just like he's a machine.
Mm-hmm.
He's a complete machine for football.
Hurling
Uh,
then.
hurling, Canning.
Big Joe.
Canning's one of the ones that got me into the sport in the first place.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah.
Like watching his sidelines, like I used to just sit and watch his sideline cuts on YouTube
Yeah, it's disgusting,
religiously.
isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, and back when I was cat-handed, I used to be quite good at sidelines, but then I swapped my
Mm,
hands around.
right.
I'm able to take them. I can every 1 in 5, I'll hit an absolute sweet one.
Mm,
And the rest of them pure cack.
okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
so toughest team I ever played.
Yeah.
I think, geez, this is actually a tough one to think about.
Yeah. It does. Some people have very instant answers, and others are they need the time to think.
I say with Declan's St Bars, they're
Okay.
just a level above in terms of their drilling and the skill in some of the players. Uh, yeah, that's probably it. St Bars have, or with Queens. With Queens, I'd probably say IT Sligo.
Really? Okay. That's
IT
definitely a
Sligo, but
first.
that was more because it was so cold at that pitch. I cannot remember where it was. I've no, it was years ago, but I'll always remember like playing the match
Yeah.
with a pair of like the Under Armour on me, a pair of tracky bottoms, a half zip, then a wind cheater, and then the jersey and the shorts over all of that, and still been frozen.
Stop.
Yeah, it was so cold.
Jeez, that's an impressive
And then they were used to that, and like, they were just hitting the slaps. I was like,
Yeah.
your
You're more
hand
about
was
the
moving
cold.
at like that speed, like you're trying
Yeah.
to catch the ball, your hand just won't close.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
losing fingers to frostbite.
Exactly. You wouldn't be long getting frostbite.
Won't be long at frostbite. So Sligo, the shit as they're called, Sligo Higher Institute of Technology, the first time they've ever made the list for toughest team ever.
Only because of how cold it was that day.
Yeah. It's
I
more
can't
the weather as
remember-
opposed to the team.
I can't even remember how good they were. They could have been shit. They could have been class. Can't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember how cold it was that day.
So shit day against the shit team called shit Sligo Higher Institute of Technology. I love it.
Shit day.
Shit day.
No, that one wasn't
Shit,
great.
shit everything, yeah. We won't finish on a shit note, but Eamon, it's been brilliant to chat about St Declan's, about everything Derry. I'd probably ask you one more because we've got about 90 seconds left. Just thinking of St Declan's, Hertfordshire. So Watford, you can choose between Troy Deeney or Joe Brolly.
Brawley.
Brolly, oh
Every
really?
time.
Oh, actually,
Brawley's-
how have I not asked you about this one? Mickey Hart next year.
We'll talk about Brawley because it's a bit less contentious.
Mickey Hart, yes or no in a word?
Impossible to say. I personally, I can see arguments for and against it. I think like Brawley made a very good point that your managers being from the county, there's something special about that. But also the direction the GAA is going in, that's becoming less and less common.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
I can see arguments for and against it.
Okay, so we won't hold our breath for Derry winning the All-Ireland next year under Mickey Hart, although that would be pretty
Toughest
sensational.
team. Just remembered it.
Okay.
There it is. St. Louis Ballymena 25th 2014 Casement Cup final.
I'm gonna have to go looking for the records of that one now. And who are you playing with?
St. Mary's Maherfeld under Prontius Brawley. It was you mentioning Brawley reminded me.
Right, okay.
Prontius was his little brother. He taught at the school.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And he
I'll
took the hurling.
have to remember that one. So, Eamon, it's been brilliant to chat about St. Declan's and everything in between. And for anyone listening yet, hope you've enjoyed it. And Eamon, we'll chat again soon. Mind yourself.
Garma hug it. Swan.
A high lobbing, dropping ball in towards the nice shot.
Well, Joe Brolly, what do you think of that?
Sure, it's a cracking championship draw, isn't it? They're great games in Munster.
I thought there was some great games the holding game tonight.
But as we always say, goals will win games.
He hits it! It's over the bar! Oh, holy Moses! I believe the Irish personnel working with the UN are listening to the match in Cyprus. Tardine and Arthur kind of fooling them.
But I tell you what, you can forget about Sean Kavanagh as far as he's a man.